Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for a shoulder and tricep day, and we started off with standing press. I decided I think I'm going to do the standing. I've been doing seated back and forth, and I'm like, look, let's do standing. Let's do it with a reasonably close grip since I'm going to close grip bench for a while. I feel like my chest is growing enough from what I'm doing, so I'm going to stick with closer grip, and then since I'm going to do dumbbell and stuff on incline, I don't foresee the chest being an issue, but things like my arms have to come up. Okay, I'm at a point where as I get leaner, my arms in general really are my weak link. I would like to get the side and the rear delt a little bit more also. So again, we just got to keep hammering everything. But the thing is, we got to make everything grow. We've got to make everything grow. So again, sticking with my power building type approach, we always do a little heavy barbell work. Right? We're going to do squat, bench, deadlift. We're going to do overhead press, and then everything else is bodybuilding. Pump work. So this was all 5 to 6 rep, and I feel like I can get stronger at this. I've had someone say, do you think you'll ever overhead press 225 against strict? And I'm like, yes, I think that I will. So that's what I'm going to work on doing. But yeah, on these, again, people know that I struggle with the lockout position. I don't care. I'm not worried about it. Doesn't seem to be much I can do about it. No amount of stretching and mobility helps. So I focus on getting that pause at the bottom, driving off the chest, all of that. Afterwards, I'm like, let's go ahead and do some upright rows. So what I want to do with these, I want to focus on really getting that long range of motion. And even if that means I reduce the weight down, I decided to just start light with these again and then push the lateral raises hard to failure. Let's start working these in. I like that narrow grip. I feel like I can get a better range of motion. Of course, you guys see how the delts look there. Delts are really popping while I'm doing that. And like I said, the waistline tightness goes back and forth a little day to day. Since I've trimmed carbs back out, my waist is definitely smaller, but it's got to kind of tighten back up a little. But I feel like last time I did low carbs like this, within a couple weeks it did. So I'm just going to keep working with it. But again, the shoulders definitely are on point there. We're seeing those striations come out in the middle of the sets. So again, we just have to keep getting leaner, keep getting tighter, and we're going to get there, right? We're going to get there. But we're going to be strong while doing it, and that's what people have to remember. Yes, my training is going to be 95% bodybuilder training, but we're still going to be strong, and that's not a contradiction, and people have to understand that. And that's why I agree with a lot of the old school stuff. That's why I agree with guys like Mike O'Hearn, right? This is why I even have gravitated to similar styles of training, and that's the thing that's interesting. Those of us who've done this a really long time, who really understand training, you see a gravitation in a very similar direction, okay? And I think there's a reason for that. It's because we kind of realize that's more or less what works. We need to be strong at the big barbell lifts, and then we need to do bodybuilding pump work. Okay, we've got to rotate stuff to where in a manner that we don't get injured. It's about longevity. Okay, it is about longevity under the bar. But in this case, yeah, with a lot of this, I think this is the direction I've gone. I did a little bit lower volumes, but some of this stuff, some of these muscles, some of these show muscles, I do need to continue to bring the volumes up a bit with really hard sets. Muscles I really care about. Things like, the side delt, my arms, biceps, triceps. So again, triceps are really getting a very serious priority though, because again, I feel like if I can just get the shoulders a little wider, especially the rear delts, side delts, really bring those triceps up, I'm going to be in a good place. But as you guys note, again, I'm not going to discuss the arm training so much today. I'm keeping a lot of my torso lifts with slightly more dominant arm version, so a little bit more close grip pressing. Obviously, the dumbbells will still bridge any gap there, I think. The same with back work. I'm doing more of it supine grip, so it's chin-ups instead of pull-ups, and so on to go with all the curls. All right, but laterals are definitely in here. So what are we looking at for shoulders? We're going to do 4 different exercises for delts, which is a lot. But keeping in mind, delts have 3 heads, and we're keeping the press in, the overhead press, not because it's even that great of a delt exercise other than the front delts, but because of the upper chest, because of the strength component too, because again, we are still power building. Okay, and it's going to carry over to my closed grip pressing, which again, the closed grip pressing will build my triceps and chest back up. So again, looking at all this stuff, how it all feeds into each other, just like you're going to see me do the band press downs here at the end. All right, we're going to see the band press downs because they feed my closed grip bench. Remember when I closed gripped 365? I was doing a ton of band work. Okay, so it carries over to that. But when it comes to the other stuff, we're going to do these extensions for the long head of the tricep, because this is why I didn't have the best triceps even when I could close grip that. I neglected the long head. Now we're going to double down on it. So both of these tricep days, we are going to do those stretch position movements and hammer that long head. We're going to keep bringing it up. We're going to keep bringing it up, because that's going to be the real key for my arms, I think, at this point, in addition to just really focusing on them, making sure that long head is maximally developed, because that is the biggest head of the tricep. And it does get a little neglected on pressing. So even when I had the big close grip, it's where we were. And I feel like because if I hammer the triceps, and because I've always been stronger at close grip, all right, look how hard I had to work to finally get that wide grip to the 365. And let's be fair, did it ever move as fast as that close grip did? That close grip 365 was faster when I did it. It'd be like Clint Darden here. That might be the only way I ever bench 405 down at 200 pounds or less. It's probably going to have to be close grip. But I feel like what happens if I just keep building the triceps? What happens if I add another inch to my triceps? Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on here. But as far as the delts go, after the overhead pressing, which again we're still treating as a strength movement, we did the upright rows for pump work, and we did our lateral raises to failure. Okay, and then coming up, I do my rear delts. So again, that gives us, for the side and the rear, that's 3 different exercises at 9 sets. Keeping in mind, we do rows, pull-ups, all that stuff on the next day. The front delts get really hammered because I'm focusing so much on incline work, right? We focus hard on incline work on that chest day, chest and tricep day. Prioritize it, because I feel like, again, I don't think it's necessary to overdevelop the lower pec at this point, not for the classic look I want. That upper chest, keep building it, keep building it, keep building it, keep building it. But yeah, I do need to make sure the rear delts come up, because when I look too, I feel like rear delts are definitely still limiting me. They were a little underdeveloped in spite of my big lats. So again, just keep hammering it. But the thing is, everything's getting work. So I want to be clear. It's only prioritizing really at this point. Arms are the only thing getting a priority. But we're training everything. We are looking at, are we training all 3 heads of the delt? Is the upper and lower chest being trained? The calf being trained, or the forearms being trained, neck, everything. We are training every muscle. So I need to just keep getting as stacked as possible. Keep getting as stacked as possible while continuing to get leaner. And that really is the name of the game. Really is the name of the game. That is how you get aesthetic. It is, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's you get unaesthetic when you have underdeveloped muscles anywhere. If you develop everything maximally, and you get leaner and leaner and leaner, you're gonna look good. Okay, and you don't need to have trickery with, well, let's make this more proportionate. And we can, but that's for small guys who need to create an illusion. You could just get really jacked and then get lean. Okay, but we're not talking the crazy gear use jacked. I'm not talking about using a bunch of insulin and IGF-1, and that's what really gives that freakish look. It's not even anabolics that give that freakish look. I don't think people don't realize that, because Arnold and them didn't have that. Just keep perspective. So you don't have to worry about getting too big if you're not doing all that stuff that interfering. Just develop everything. Make sure every muscle in your body is developed. Get jacked and go there. All right, so after the rear delt raises, we did neck extensions. These I ran out of steam. Like, I was thinking, man, I bet I can get 3 sets of 20. That first set of 20 was hard. I think I only got about 13 or 14 reps on the third set. Just ran out of steam on these. I feel like, again, if I get to where I can do the 3 sets of 20 with this weight, we'll be in a good place. Be in a really good place, but I can't sustain it. It seems like my neck runs out. But my neck has been doing so much better since I've been doing these. It helps tremendously. I've been sleeping better on it. Sleep's improved. Not getting the crick in my neck, to the same, anywhere near the same extent. So I'm glad I added them back in. Now, how much they actually contribute to aesthetics, I don't know about that. But then we finished up with the high rep band press downs. The same thing for these. That first set, I get like 60 plus reps. Then after that, it's like I just run. That's it. My triceps are done. But again, elbow tendon health, pump, building the tendons, getting a good pump, finishing them, the lockout on that close grip. It's all going to matter. But all the other isolation, we focus on the long head, which again, 6 sets for the long head every week, in addition to all that pressing. But I want to keep the band press downs in because they do feed my close grip bench. They do keep my elbow health on point, and that extra pump very well might be what my triceps continue to need. All right. Making sure they're getting finished off. So the triceps are also getting an additional rep range in addition to all that heavy pressing and then higher rep isolation. Then we go to the crazy high rep stuff, right? And so again, bands for a weak point like that can be very, very beneficial for a lot of reasons. Because sometimes something that can be a weak point can be like a blood flow, like a tendon health. And this can just help with the recovery of it. But super happy with today's workout. Everything went great. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.